All right, today we're jumping into a technology that could totally change how we think about energy. I'm talking about wireless power. There's this huge, high-stakes race happening right now to control how we're going to power everything, from our phones to our cities. And whoever wins, well, they could end up shaping the entire infrastructure for the next generation.
Just think about it for a second. What if we lived in a world that's completely untethered? Seriously, no more tangled cords, no more desperately hunting for an outlet. Imagine your electric car just charges when you park it in the garage, or your phone powers up while it's still in your pocket. That's the incredible promise we're going to unpack today.
So, at the heart of all this is something called wireless power transfer, or WPT for short. The basic idea sounds simple enough, right? Just sending electricity through the air. But actually doing it? Yeah, that's incredibly complex. And right now, there's a handful of really innovative companies leading the charge to perfect this. Okay, so who are the key contenders in this race? Let's take a look at 5 of the major innovators. And what's fascinating is that each one has a totally different strategy for who they're targeting and how they plan to send that power right through thin air.
First up, we've got Guru Wireless. Now, these guys aren't really worried about your phone charger. Their ambition is way bigger, way more industrial. They're aiming for high power, long-range situations where a dead battery isn't just an annoyance, it's a total mission failure.
So how do they do it? Well, Guru uses these high-frequency millimeter waves, and get this, it's the same part of the spectrum that's being developed for 6G. They use it to beam a serious amount of power over long distances. So picture this, keeping a whole fleet of surveillance drones in the air 24/7 without them ever having to land. That focus puts them smack dab in the middle of the high-stakes world of defense and industrial automation.
Okay, so let's come back down from the sky and head into your garage. Next up is Witricity, and they are tackling one of the biggest consumer markets on the entire planet, making it absolutely effortless to charge your electric vehicle. You see, their whole strategy is about becoming a piece of critical infrastructure. They use something called magnetic resonance, which basically creates this super efficient energy field between 2 coils to send power. And here's the clever part. They're working directly with automakers. We're talking Toyota, BMW, to create one single global standard. The end game? To be the default built-in charging solution for the entire EV industry. All right, so we've gone from the future of cars to the device that's probably in your hand or your pocket right now. Powermat is all about bringing wireless power to you and me, the everyday consumer, and they've been in this game for years. In fact, if you've ever just dropped your phone on a charging pad at a Starbucks or maybe in the center console of a newer car, chances are you've already used Powermat's tech. That's their key advantage right there, this huge existing footprint in the consumer market. For them, it's all about scale and making it accessible to everyone. But what if you didn't even need a pad? Ozia's vision takes this whole idea one giant step further. They're aiming to create entire rooms, entire offices that are completely, truly cable-free. So Ozia's tech, it's called Coda, is designed to basically act like Wi-Fi, but for electricity. It sends out low levels of power over several meters, and it can charge dozens of small devices. Think smart home sensors, remote controls, all those little IoT gadgets, all at the same time, without you having to do a single thing. Now, behind a lot of these really ambitious visions are the companies that are building the nuts and bolts, the foundational tech. And that's where a company like New Current comes in. They provide the essential core components that make so many of these other systems even possible. What New Current does is design and build these incredibly specialized, super efficient antennas and electronics, the real heart of any wireless power system. They're the enablers. They provide the critical hardware that lets brands like Witricity or Powermat actually bring their products to life. Okay, so we've seen these totally different strategies, right? You've got high-power industrial, you've got the mass-market consumer stuff, and then this ambient, power-everywhere IoT idea. With all these innovators pushing forward, the real question becomes, who's in the best position to not just win today, but to actually lead us into the era of 6G and even beyond? Well, the source material that we're digging into for this explainer did a really deep analysis of each company, their tech, their market position, their future potential to answer that exact question. And after weighing all the different factors, the analysis points to one clear frontrunner, a company that's poised to become a central pillar of our connected future. And that company is Witricity. And when you look at the evaluation, you can see why.
This source gives Witricity top marks. We're talking 5 stars for its mature, proven technology and its deep integration with that huge automotive market. This gives it an incredibly strong foundation for all those future 6G and 7G applications.
So, what's really behind those high ratings? Well, the analysis boils it down to 3 specific strategic advantages that really set Witricity apart from the pack.
Okay, first off, their dominance in the EV space. That puts them right at the center of the mobility revolution, which is a huge cornerstone of the whole 6G vision. Second, their magnetic resonance tech is just uniquely suited for a future where networks are going to send data and power at the same time. And finally, number 3, they have this powerful intellectual property mode. They hold the foundational patents from MIT, where this tech was literally invented, which gives them a massive competitive and legal head start.
So, with those advantages in mind, let's take a look at how Witricity stacks up directly against the competition, especially when we're focusing on the coming 6G and 7G eras.
And this chart really makes the landscape crystal clear. I mean, look, a company like Ossia scores really well for its promising future in the Internet of Things for sure. But according to the source's analysis, it's the sheer scale and the infrastructural importance of the mobility market that gives Witricity that 5-star fitness rating for the huge technological shift that's coming.
So from an investor's point of view, Witricity is definitely a company to watch closely. It's still private, which means a major IPO or maybe a strategic acquisition by a huge auto or tech firm could be just over the horizon. And you should also expect to see some major partnerships forming with telecom giants, the ones who want to integrate power right into their 6G networks.
And really, that gets to the core of it. Witricity's true strength isn't just its cool technology. It's its unique position right at the intersection of 3 of the world's most transformative industries: communication, energy, and mobility. They're aiming to become the invisible infrastructure that connects them all.
And that leaves us with one last big question. With such a commanding lead, what is next for Witricity? Are they going to go public in some landmark IPO? Or will a titan of the auto or tech industry just snap them up to secure a dominant position in our wireless future? The race is definitely on. And honestly, the outcome is going to help define our world for decades to come.